Hey, in one of my earlier videos, I was talking about how to accumulate money, or how to acquire money, um, or how to build wealth. And I was talking about your philosophy on money, on your philosophy in life. And it just depends on what you want to do to earn that money. One of the things which everybody, you really need to start off with working. Working is the first way to start off, especially if you start off from the ground floor. And I'm just going to assume that most of the people listening to this is starting off with nothing, and meaning you don't have an inheritance. Nobody left you a house or a car that's valuable, or stocks in a bank account. I'm going to start with just say working. So the first thing is to work to make money. One of the ways, well, not just one of the ways, just talk about several ways you can make money, which is some of the most popular, is just to get a regular job at a plant or Mickey D's or a factory or something like that, just to put money on the table. And you want to live by the 70-30 rule, which I talked about in another previous video. But that's called, in what Robert Kiyosaki called, the 4 quadrants of wealth. And that number 1 is E. So basically, it's just like you're drawing a cross. You're drawing a cross, and on the first side of the cross at the top, left-hand side, is going to be an E, and that E is called employee. As an employee, it's a safe bet that you're going to have a secure job where you go to work every day, but as an employee, normally you're making someone else rich, or you're serving government or state or county or something like that. But in those positions, normally you don't get rich unless you take that money and you invest it over long periods of time. But in just talking normally, for the average person, an E, an employee, never becomes rich. They just live day to day, hand to mouth, making somebody else rich in their company. On the lower side of the cross, you would have an S. That S is for self-employed. You're still an employee, except you work for yourself. Sounds kind of strange, but it's the same thing. When you're working for yourself, it still depends on you to bring in that money. You can't get sick. You don't have any employees working for you. You have to do your own tax returns. You got to pay your own taxes. You got nothing coming back. In some cases, that can lead to becoming a multimillionaire. In other cases, all it leads to is freedom from working for somebody, but it still leaves you broke. The 2 better ways to get wealthy: on the right-hand side of the quadrant at the top, you would have a B, and that B means business. Now, to be in a business, that would be something like Microsoft. The big companies like Microsoft, Apple, these people have started an industry and used other people's money to build their businesses. And now they become multimillionaires, multi-billionaires. But B, that kind of business, is a bigger business that's bigger than you, which a lot of times you have a board of directors, you have a major share of the stock, but you're not the shot caller, not in all things. You may lead the board, but you're not everything in that board. But it's the biggest and best way to become wealthy. And once you generate enough income, you can move on down that left-hand side of the cross to the bottom and become an I. An I is an investor. Investors make money off of everybody's labor, off the choices that other people make who know how to make money. And that would be somebody like Warren Buffett. That would be somebody like, what's the guy's name? Kramer on I forget that, Smart Money, I think it is. Smart Money, I think it is. John Welch. Just think about all the investors there is. All these people make is money off money. Investor is the best way to make money because investing in especially big businesses or businesses that are making money. You make a piece of what everybody does. There's a group of people who normally they invest, maybe they own like maybe 10% of companies. So just say you own, just say out of 100% of the money that you own just 10% of 10 businesses. Say you own 10% of Microsoft, you own 10% of Apple, you own 10% of Tesla, 10% of all the major corporations. That way, you're always making money off other people's labor, and you're always pretty safe because none of those companies are going to crash. And if one does crash, it doesn't matter because you got money in another company. This keeps you rich, this keeps you wealthy, and this keeps you unemployed. You're just making money off money. And this is the best way to make money. But it all starts, if you're like me, and like most people that I know, you start at the E, and you make enough money to maybe move into the S, and then you make money from there to move into the B, and then from the B, you go into the I. If you think about Bill Gates, you may think that he's a multi-billionaire just because of Microsoft, which in some cases he is, but a lot of his money is also invested in other organizations, other businesses, and if Microsoft was to go down right now, Bill Gates would still be a billionaire because he's invested in Apple and he's invested in other companies, so that he'll never see being poor. Not like us. All right. That's it. Bye-bye.